the question for the mains examination, which you can say discuss on daily basis, one question per day. Today's question is in the continuance of the yesterday's topic. Yesterday's topic was about the string of false policy of China and the probable threats to India from that string of false policy. Yesterday we discussed that in detail. But in yesterday's discussion, there was one important thing that you can say India has a strategic advantage of state of Malacca, right, over China. Now the next thing is that the question is that you can say what is China's strategy to come out of Malacca Dilemma, right? What is China's strategy to come out of Malacca Dilemma? This is important thing. China's strategy to come out of Malacca Dilemma. Do you have any problem from you can say yesterday's lecture? Does anybody wants to ask anything?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. To come out of Malacca's dilemma, right?
I think that the font size which you used earlier was pretty better.
Okay, let me you can say adjust it halfway, na?
Okay, that will be better for both the parties.
In between, right? What is China's strategy to come out of Malacca Dilemma? Either this can be the question, or the question can be asked. You can say, has China diluted India's strategic advantage? India's strategic advantage, right? Strategic advantage of Strait of Malacca, right? Strait of Malacca diplomatically. This can be the question, right? Or third question can be, you can say, to what extent India's, right? To what extent India's, you can say, India's Strait of Malacca advantage, is effective today. So these are the three questions which can be, you can say, there in this context, right? In this context. So I hope the questions are quite, you can say, pretty clear. There is no such thing that there will be the problem of any, you can say, interpretation or like, right? So I think this is clear to you, right? So these are the questions. These are the three questions, you can say, which can be asked in this context, right? So yesterday we discussed that that China is in Malacca Dilemma, or India has a strategic advantage over China in this respect. Yesterday we discussed that, right? So in today's question, we are going to discuss that what has been done by China to come out of the Malacca Dilemma, or to what extent India's, you can say, strategic advantage of Strait of Malacca is effective today, or how China has countered the Strait of Malacca advantage of India, or has neutralized the Strait of Malacca, you can say, advantage of India. So this is the question, right? So yesterday we discussed that you can say there is a string of false policy of China, right? According to which China is developing the ports and various, you can say, military bases, you can say, in the countries bordering South China Sea, or you can say Indian Ocean, right? and the particular concentration of the string of the pearls of that string that is around, you can say, India, right? We are seeing that you can say Coco Islands, Few Port, and Chittagong Port, Hambantota Port, Maldives, and then there is Gwadar Port, and then there is Iran also, right? So beta, yesterday we discussed that you can say India has strategic advantage over the state of Malacca. I'm going to repeat it again today that state of strategic advantage of India of state of Malacca, right? Strategic advantage of India of Strait of Malacca, Strait of Malacca. This is the you can say question, right? Strait of Malacca. So the strategic advantage of Strait of Malacca is that yesterday we discussed that you can say Strait of Malacca is a very narrow peninsula, very narrow passage of water. Strait of Malacca is a very narrow passage of water. Is a very narrow passage of water between Malay Peninsula, between Malay Peninsula and Sabang, and that is you can say, and in Indonesia, yes, Sumatra of Indonesia and Indonesia, right? So this is a very narrow passage, right? And yesterday we also discussed that you can say this state of Malacca is under the control of the U.S. Navy, right? U.S. Navy is permanently stationed there in the Strait of Malacca, right? U.S. Navy is permanently stationed there in Strait of Malacca. Is permanently stationed there in Strait of Malacca, right? And U.S. and China are the two political and economic competitors. Today, right? They are the two competitors today, right? And China has cool relations with India. Right? Cooler relations with India. So one strategic advantage of India is this, that that is under the control of the USA, not under the control of the China, right? And the second strategic advantage we discussed yesterday, that you can say, second strategic advantage we discussed that is its nearness to Andaman and Nicobar Island. Its nearness to Andaman and Nicobar Islands, right? Where a permanent naval base of India, and a Tri-Services Command of India is located, right? So this is the second strategic advantage to India of the Strait of Malacca, which we discussed yesterday also, right? And the next strategic advantage we discussed yesterday, that in 2018, India entered into an agreement with Indonesia, right, for the development of its Sabang port, right, for the development of its Sabang port in partnership in partnership with Indonesia, right? In partnership with Indonesia, right? And since then, India's naval ships, they keep on visiting there, right? Keep on visiting there, right? And Sabang is very near to the state of Malacca. You can say it is almost on the mouth of the state of Malacca, right? Very near to the state of Malacca, right? And third thing we discussed yesterday, yes, that in 2018, India and Singapore entered into an agreement. India and Singapore entered into an agreement, right? Whereby India has been given access to Singapore, whereas India's Navy, has been given access to you can say Changi Naval Base of Singapore, which Indian Navy can use, for refueling, and rearming of its ships. So this we discussed yesterday, right? That you can say Changi Naval Base की जो है access हमारी Navy को मिली है, right? So this is there. And yesterday we also discussed that you can say about 80% of China's energy supplies. 80% of China's energy supplies pass through the Strait of Malacca. Right? And due to its narrowness, Strait of Malacca, due to its narrowness, right? It can be easily choked. By parking ships there. Right? So it can be easily choked by, you can say, parking ships there. You can easily choke that, right? By parking ships there, right? And in case of war, it would become difficult for China, right? It would become difficult for China to you can say to continue, right? To continue in war, right? Without the energy supplies, without the continuous energy supplies, because energy supply is very much required. Continuous energy supplies, right? So this is it. So this is the whole thing, right? So why China was in trouble in this case, right? So this is the whole thing, right? So it was quite obvious, naturally, for China to, you can say, think about the alternatives, right? Think about some other strategies so that China may antidote this Strait of Malacca benefit of India, right? And today's question is that what has been done, right? So that in this we can say the first part, as we usually say, the first part will be the introduction of the question. In introduction, we will hit bullseye directly. I have told you earlier. And in this introductory part, we will say that seeing the situation, seeing the situation of seeing the situation near Strait of Malacca, and U.S. and India's dominance, U.S. and India's dominance there. Okay, so it is quite important for China. It is quite important for China to come out of Malacca Dilemma, to come out of Malacca Dilemma by reducing its dependence on Strait of Malacca, right? On Strait of Malacca, okay, as according to reports, right, about 80% of China's energy supply, 80% of China's energy supply passes through 80% of China's energy supply, and huge volume of trade, passes through the Strait of Malacca, right? Though you can say it seems difficult. To shift it seems difficult for China to shift its entire dependence on Strait of Malacca, right? On other you can say alternative alternative routes, we can say, right? On alternative routes. But yes, China is doing its best. China is doing its best to reduce its dependence on Strait of Malacca route, right? On Strait of Malacca route, right? So that it may not be the major weakness of China. In the days to come, right? In case of any war-like situation, or war-like situation, right? Or war-like situation, right? Or war-like situation, right? China has started developing, and China has started thinking over and developing various alternative routes and strategies, right? Strategies to neutralize India's advantage, right? Of Strait of Malacca. So this will be your introduction, I think, right? So seeing the situation near Strait of Malacca and US and India's dominance there, it's quite important for China to come out of Malacca Dilemma by reducing its dependence on Strait of Malacca. As according to reports, about 80% of China's energy, according to reports, about 80% of China's energy supply and huge volume of trade pass through, right? Pass through the, you can say, Strait of Malacca, right? Pass through the Strait of Malacca. Though it seems difficult for China to shift its entire dependence of Strait of Malacca on alternative routes, right? But yes, China is doing its best. But yes, China is doing its best. You can say to reduce its dependence on Strait of Malacca route so that it may not be the major weakness of China in the days to come in case of any war or war-like situation. China has started thinking over and developing various alternative routes and strategies to neutralize India's advantage of Strait of Malacca. Is it clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, beta, we have given the brief summary over here, right? That in this introduction, we have tried to convey the examiner 2-3 more things. One is Malacca, right? The present situation. In the present situation is China's weakness, right? One thing we have tried to convey it is. Second thing we have conveyed to the examiner that you can say China is developing alternative strategies, right? China is developing. Yeah, China is countering it by what? By two things. Number one, by developing alternative routes we have conveyed, right? And number two, we have conveyed that strategies also are being used, right, by alternative routes, right? And number two, we have conveyed that strategies are also being used by China to come out of this situation, right? Strategies, we will discuss it today, right? Strategies are there. And third thing, we have conveyed that you can say, according to our opinion, right, it is difficult for China to, you can say, shift its dependence completely, right? Shift its dependence on, right? Shift its dependence on Strait of Malacca completely, right? So I have tried to convey, you can say, these 3-4 things through this introduction. Is it clear, beta? So these are the 3-4 things which I have tried to convey through this introductory part, right?
Yes, sir.
So yes, so these are the 3-4 things, right? So it means by seeing your introduction, the examiner would be clear that which route the candidate is going to follow, right? And what is the approach of the candidate to tackle this question, right? So that pays you much, right? So hit the bullseye directly. Don't go here and there. So this is the introduction, right? So now, beta, we will discuss the various, you can say, alternative routes and strategies developed by China, right? Alternative routes. First of all, we will talk about that. Alternative routes, right? Planned or developed by China, right? Alternative routes means alternative to the Strait of Malacca, right? I need to say that. So as far as the alternative routes are concerned, right? One thing we discussed yesterday, that is the CPEC, right? CPEC is an important alternative route which has developed by China, though it is not yet fully operational, but still, right, it's an important route developed by China, right? So which connects CPEC, connects, you can say, Pakistan's port, Gwadar, right, on Arabian Sea, right, with Xinjiang, province, of China, right, province of China through land route, right? So this is the one thing, right? And one important thing which I would like to mention here, that CPEC includes, though this is not CPEC includes, right, Gwadar port, that is a part of the CPEC project, right? CPEC project includes, one is the Gwadar port, right? Gwadar port development, right? So road connectivity from Pakistan to China, right? From Gwadar to Xinjiang. So you can also see road connectivity, rail connectivity, and a number of hydroelectricity projects, and a number of power projects you can also mention, right? Power projects. Let us make it broad. Number of power projects, right? So this is the total, you can say, CPEC project, right? So recently you can say, recently Pakistani government has approved Pakistan government has approved a $7.2 billion project to upgrade, right, railways, connecting Gwadar to, you can say, Kashgar, China, right? Gwadar to Kashgar, China. So this is the important thing, right? It has been approved recently. So rail connectivity is also there, right? So this is the important part, right? So basically, CPEC, how is CPEC important? That you can see, once the CPEC becomes fully operational, Okay? So this will serve as an alternative route to China, okay, for energy supply and trade, which will bypass Strait of Malacca, and will be out of the influence of India. So this is the first strategy, right? First alternative. Is it clear, Peter?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So have you noted it down? Can I delete it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
1 second, sir.
Okay, noted.
Now you can, sir.
Okay. So the second, which we tried to discuss yesterday, that is, you can say, second, which we tried to discuss yesterday, that is, we can say, right? Q.4, Myanmar to Kunming, China, right? The route to Kunming, China, right? So this is the second alternative route. Okay. As we have yesterday discussed that China is developing, right? Myanmar's Q.4 port, right? Q.4 port, right? And from you can say Q.4, there is a land route to Kunming. Okay. So this route also bypasses. This route also bypasses the state of Malacca. Right? Though it is through the Bay of Bengal. And you can say, and India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands are on the way. Nicobar Islands are on the way to ships. Moving to Myanmar. Okay, moving to Myanmar. Right, but still, it's a you can say it's a new front, right, for India. It's a new front for India to fight, right? For India to fight with the U.S. forces, with Chinese forces, right? With Chinese forces, right? If Myanmar gives military access of that port to China, and even India would require additional energy. Manpower, and ships, shipping vessels, we can say, and shipping vessels, okay, to block China's way to, you can say, Q.4 port, right? Which may decrease India's focus on state of Malacca, right? And so that is why this will be an advantage to China, right? So this is the second point. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
okay. And now there is the third important point which we discussed yesterday, and that is that the third point is that is you can say China's planning, right, in association with Thailand. China's planning in association with Thailand. In association with Thailand. In association with Thailand to construct Kara Canal, which is known as Thai Canal also. Thai Canal also, right? You can say to connect Andaman Sea, to connect Andaman Sea to the Gulf of Thailand, to the Gulf of Thailand, right? If this happens, it will reduce the, you can say, distance from Indian Ocean to South China Sea. It will reduce the distance from Indian Ocean to South China Sea by approximately 1,000 kilometers. 1,000 kilometers, and it bypasses Strait of Malacca also. Bypasses Strait of Malacca also. So that is also China's strategy to develop a route alternative to the Strait of Malacca, right? So these are the three routes which you have seen, right? Right? Any other? If you have in your mind, please tell me.
सर ईरान में जो ब्लॉकिंग कर सकता है वो इंडिया के फ्यूल की,
हाँ,
इंडिया के एनर्जी सप्लाई की।
हाँ, उसको बेटा हम इसकी जो मतलब स्ट्रेटेजिकल प्लानिंग कहेंगे, दैट इज मतलब उसको हम अल्टरनेटिव रूट में नहीं लेंगे ना, ओके? अभी हम अल्टरनेटिव रूट डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, राइट? वी आर डिस्कसिंग द अल्टरनेटिव रूट्स नाउ. एनी अदर अल्टरनेटिव रूट्स व्हिच इज इन योर माइंड, प्लीज टेल मी. Yes, please tell me if you have any other alternative route in your mind.
सर कोको पोर्ट्स वाला ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਵਾਲਾ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੰਸੀਡਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਸਟੈਟਿਕਲ ਚ?
No. That is basically that is in the South China Sea, ना?
सर वेस्ट वाले पार्ट से घूम वेस्ट वाले पार्ट से घूम के आके.
वेस्ट वाले पार्ट से किधर?
सर जो वेस्ट वाला पार्ट है सर उधर से घूम के आके भी तो आ सकते हैं सर.
Okay, through Pacific Ocean.
Yes sir.
Okay. But that will be too much costlier and too much risky, right? Yes, it is possible. But China is, you can say, making very smart move. One more, right? That is the Northern Sea Route, right? Northern Sea Route, which is known as the Polar Silk Road, right? I will just show it to you, right? Polar Silk Road, right? So beta, this is another smart move by China, right? Right, beta? So in 2018, China released its Arctic policy. China released its Arctic policy, which underlines the importance of Polar Silk Road. Polar Silk Road, or which you can say Northern Sea Route, right? So beta, it's viable. It's viable for China. It is viable for China. Viable for China because China is, we can say, geographically, China is geographically near to the Arctic region. Near to the Arctic region, you can say, right? Geographically near to the Arctic region, right? Arctic region, right? So China's plan, we can say, China's plan, right? China's plan is to work with, the countries of the region, you can say, to develop, you can say, a polar silk road, right? Polar silk road, right? Through the development of, or by the development of Arctic shipping routes, right? Arctic shipping route. Okay, road means a shipping route, right? Arctic shipping routes. It is possible. It is possible now. Yeah, it is possible today in the era of global warming. It is possible in the era of global warming, right? Due to the accelerated rate of you can say melting of ice sheets in the region. Right? So it makes it possible. For the ships. It's possible for the ships to cross through the Arctic Ocean now. Right? And China is taking it as an opportunity, right? It will serve China in two ways. Right? What are the two ways? Number one, right? Helping China to increase its influence, right? On the countries of the region, means strengthening its political, you can say, plot, right? And second number, you can say, helping developing China, a route alternative to the Indian Ocean route, okay, to conduct trade with Europe, right? And that route is comparatively shorter also to conduct trade with the European country, right? So, you can say China sent its next line. So China sent its first ship to the region in 2013, right? In 2013, and is now you can say investing in port infrastructure, investing in port infrastructure in Arctic region, port infrastructure in Arctic region, which connects, you can say, to Europe, which connects to Europe. Okay. China is even investing in, we can say, designing icebreakers, right? Icebreaker vessels, you can say, icebreaker vessels. That will be more clear. Icebreaker vessels, right? Icebreakers vessels that would, right? That would, you can say, that would ease navigation through Arctic, through Arctic Ocean, right? Even so, can I delete this? Can I erase this, beta?
1 second, sir.
Okay, okay.
सर इस पूरे में सर बीच में रशिया भी तो पड़ जाएगा सर, लेकिन
Yes, beta, I am showing you. Don't touch, right?
सर अलास्का और डिम्योडे आइलैंड है जहाँ पे सर वो लिटिल डिम्योडे और
yes, beta. फिर क्या हुआ बेटा? Russia is there. Then Russia is friend of China.
सर यूएसए भी तो है सर वहाँ पे सर अलास्का वाला पार्ट पड़ता है ना सर उसका पैसिफिक में सर बिग डिम्योडे आइलैंड.
नहीं बेटा, I am showing you, please, right? I am showing you. Just wait for a minute, right? China even launched yes, its first locally built right, locally built icebreaker ship in 2018, right? 2018 with the Finland's help, right? So this is 2018. China has tried it, right, with Finland's help, right? So is it noted by everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So now you can say, let me show you that, you can say, right? I think this is there. Okay. First of all, this is there. Here is China, right? From here, China will enter into this sea, right? This sea, right? And from here, China will enter into in this region. Then Bering Sea, and Bering Sea से Arctic Ocean, right? Bering Sea, Northern Sea, and यहाँ तक China आ जाएगा Arctic Ocean, sorry, Atlantic Ocean, right? So the northern. This is known as the Northern Silk Route, Polar Silk Route, and this is the existing route of China via Strait of Malacca, right? So now China has another alternative, right? Because China has cool relations with Russia, there is no problem, right? Of there is no problem of China with Russia, right? Russia has no problem.
सर ये
No
बैरिंग स्ट्रेट वाला जो पार्ट पड़ता है सर, बैरिंग स्ट्रेट पड़ता है जहाँ पे,
yes,
सर वहाँ पे सर अलास्का स्टेट भी तो पड़ती है सर, उसी के जस्ट बराबर में, तो सर अलास्का के पास से तो निकलेंगे ना शिप तब भी.
Beta, you can say this is quite on the Russian side, na beta? It is, right? It is very difficult for the, you can say, US ships to enter into this territory and to attack on the Chinese ships, na? That is the problem, right?
सर ये अपर वाला पोर्शन जो है यहाँ पे सर वो बनता है ना सर, लिटिल डिम्योटे आइलैंड.
Yes, I know, beta, right? So beta, they are developing this, right? So this route is being developed, right? They are, beta, this is quite, you can say, away from this route. No? So, let me show you, right? So Alaska and China will enter into the, you can say, Sea of Japan. From Sea of Japan, China will enter into the Sea of, you can say, Okhotsk. And from there, China will enter into the Bering Sea. And from Bering Sea, China will enter into this, you can say, Arctic Ocean, right? So beta, there is gap between the Russian territory and between this, you can say, Alaskan territory, right? So you can say China will not enter into the US domain there, right? So this is the another route which is being developed by China. Is it okay, Nishant?
Sir, yes, sir. It is somewhat 82 miles from whatever.
Yes. So we have, right? So beta, this is there, right? So this will become shorter, right? And beta, main issue before China is to bypass this, you can say, Strait of Malacca, which is very narrow, right? And here is the dominance of the US, right? And here, if US try to enter, then beta, Russia will also challenge US, right? And China is already there to challenge the US. Okay, so beta, that is why US will also, you can say, try to avoid from entering into this region, right? Because
Moreover,
China,
sir, Alaska में conditions भी sir काफी extremes हैं.
yes, beta. On you can say Alaskan side, right? So conditions are very much extreme, right? And they beta need not to move towards this side, na? Towards you can say, okay, towards you can say eastern Pacific side. They are not moving. Na? So that is why, right? Bering Sea, Arctic Ocean, Norwegian Sea, Bering Sea, and from here China will enter into the you can say Atlantic Ocean, right? And the entire Europe is open then for China. So this is the way, right, for China to, you can say, avoid from the Strait of Malacca, right? So this is the next strategy of China.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
सर ये पैसिफिक वाला रूट कभी इस्तेमाल क्यों नहीं किया गया सर? हिस्ट्री वाले टाइम, हिस्टोरिकल टाइम से सर हमेशा यही वाला रूट इस्तेमाल किया गया है सर, लैंड वाला, मतलब जो लैंड डोमिनेंट है सर, वो पीछे वाला रास्ता जो है सर पैसिफिक वाला कभी इस्तेमाल ही नहीं किया गया है.
No, beta, there are, you can say, in the past, beta, there were some problems, and in the modern times, beta, that route is being used, right? You must note that the first ship which reached from America to, you can say, India, which was containing the, you can say, oil for India, crude oil for India from the USA, just you can say 1-2 years back, right? So beta, that came to India through this Pacific route, right? Beta, yes. Beta, one thing to be noted, the various ships, beta, which move from the, you can say western coast of America, those beta ships usually use the Pacific Ocean route, right? And the ships which move from the eastern coast of America, they usually use this route, Mediterranean Sea and then Red Sea and then Indian Ocean, Atlantic, right? So presently that route is used, and moreover, beta, Pacific Ocean is little bit, you can say the heavy waters are there, right? So beta, that is why that route was considered little bit risky also, and that route was quite long also, in between the land is not there. So beta, that is why, right, due to the safety and for the purpose of the refueling, right, logistic needs also, sometimes that route was, you can say, avoided in the past, right? So that's why.
Okay, sir. Okay, got it.
So at present, that yes, that is being used. So the next thing is beta, which we were discussing. That is, let us take here. So beta, that is there. Yes, we are discussing alternative routes, right? So in alternative routes, beta, so far we have discussed one is CPEC route, and second is beta, you can say Q.4 Kunming route, Q.4 Kunming, and third is we have route High Canal, right? And the fourth is we have route you can say discuss this Polar Silk Road, right? We have discussed these four routes now so far, right? Okay, so now the next important route which the China is developing, that is beta under the Belt and Road Initiative, which is the Belt and Road Initiative, right? So this is a land route from China to Europe, right? This is a land route. This is a land route from China to Europe. From China to Europe, right? We can say across Asia, like Eurasia. So this is a land route from China to Europe. Right? So this route is also important, right? So if this route, you can say this route also bypasses the Strait of Malacca, right? Also reduces the dependence of China on Strait of Malacca. And this is the, okay, you might not be seeing it. Let me share this with you, right? And this route, beta, this route from China to, right, beta, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, right, Turkmenistan, and then Uzbekistan, then beta, Turkey, then Greece, then Italy, then Romania, Ukraine, Germany, etc., right? And then beta, this route gets connected with the, you can say, it's a sea route also, right? So this way, China has connected its, you can say, Belt and Road Initiative. This is China's Belt and Road Initiative entirely, right? China's road project from here to this side, right? It is covering almost entirely, right? And beta, this you can see, right? This from India's Calcutta to, you can say, Bangladesh to Myanmar, right? And from Myanmar, then it enters into China. Here is one route, right? And beta, here is the beta, we can say another route is here to Thailand, Vietnam, etc., right? And beta, here is, we can say this, you can say CPEC, right? CPEC crossed through this Pakistan occupied Kashmir also, right? So beta, these are the various, you can say, routes which are being developed by, you can say, right, China, right? And beta, this is one sea route, you can say, which is from here, right? This is one land route also, which is from here to, you can say, Kenya port, right? Which is also being developed by China, a port in Kenya, right? So beta, in this way, China is spreading its, we can say, influence throughout the world, right? And China is moving very, you can say, strategically, I think, which I, you can say, personally analyze and personally see that we can say China is yet preparing the ground, right, to, you can say, overcome, or you can say overpower USA, right, strategically and diplomatically, right? China is investing the huge funds in all these countries, right? If China is investing, you can say, such a huge amount of the funds in those countries, then you can say how those countries may come out of the influence of China in the future, right? At least if they would not support the China openly, at least they would prefer to stay, you can say, neutral instead of helping the Western powers, right? Like US led Western powers. So this is a very well thought and well planned strategy of China, right? So because China is working very, you can say, strategically, right? So this is what we have discussed about the routes so far.
सर ओल्ड सिल्क रूट जो था सर, अगर इंडिया को बाईपास करते हैं उसमें तो सर चाइना उसे भी इस्तेमाल कर सकता है फिर तो।
Pardon?
सर ओल्ड सिल्क रूट जो हुआ करता था पहले, जो व्यापार के लिए यूज
Yes,
किया जाता था।
yes. That is also been a part of this, na? The revival of that.
या
Right?
सर पार्ट ऑफ सर, लेकिन वो ईरान से भी पास होता था ना, अफगानिस्तान सीरिया लेवेंट एटसेट्रा।
Yes, beta. Due to some issues, problems in Afghanistan also, no? There was some problems.
Stability problems also.
Right. So is it clear, beta? So now we are moving on to the next part, you can say, right? The next part is here. So this was about the alternative routes, right? So the next alternative route, which is in this, that is, you can say, BRI. That is BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, right? So these are the various, you can say, methods, right, which counter India's strength there over the state of Malacca, right? And next thing which I told you, that is, you can say, some strategic or diplomatic, some strategic initiatives, you can say. Some strategic initiatives are there, right? So one of the strategic initiatives, you can say, developing alternative routes, which we have just discussed, right? Developing alternative routes, right? And the other strategic initiatives are developing strategic routes, right? The other strategic policy of, you can say, China is, right, like neutralizing the effect of India, right, by other ways also. What are the other ways? Like, you can say, one thing is that recently China has entered into agreement with, you can say, Iran, right? Iran. And India was having $8 billion project there. That project is Chabahar. You can see that project is Chabahar. You can see, right? Chabahar port in Iran, right? So that was there, right? And Chabahar port was strategically important for India. Iran was also strategically important for India because India doesn't have a direct access to, you can say, Central Asian countries without Iran, right? India doesn't have access to Central Asian countries of India. Central Asian countries of India without, right? Central Asian countries of India without, we can say, right? Central Asian countries of India without Iran, right? Because the other route is through the north of India, right? For which it has to cross UP, which is difficult, right? Or it may enter through, or it may enter into Central Asia, you can say, Central Asia, all right, through Pakistan, which is not possible due to not so good relations, not possible due to not good relationship, due to not good relationship, Pakistan, right? So that is not possible. So this is very Iran is very strategic for India, right? And now what is China doing? Right? China has in this July signed a strategic partnership with Iran. Right? China in this July has entered into a strategic partnership with Iran, right? Right, and the immediate effect of that, which was seen that the immediate effect of that on India was that Iran declared to right, you can say withdraw from Chabahar rail project, which was signed with India. Chabahar rail project, which was signed with India, right? Which was signed. Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
Paramjit Didi, the mic on है sir, थोड़ा disturbance हो रही है.
Okay. Let me check it. No, that is mute. Okay. So hold on. Anybody whose mic is on, kindly turn it off, please. So this is there, right? So this news you must have seen in the newspapers, no? That in the recent days, right? So you can say Iran has said that we will go on the rail project, right? At our own. We will not allow India to participate in that Chabahar rail project. So that is very much important issue for India, right, Peter? And moreover, what is this? According to this strategic partnership, China and you can say Iran, right? Will China and Iran, right? China and Iran will conduct, you can say, joint military training and exercises, right? Joint military training and exercises. One is that, right? And second is research and development, right? Research and development, right? And then weapon manufacturing, as we discussed yesterday, right? Weapon manufacturing. So it means Iran's dependence is, you can say, increasing on China, right? If China, you can say, catches Iran also through its debt trap policy, right? So then you can say India's this you can say strategic move, right? Which is to connect the Central Asian countries through, you can say, Iran, and the investment in the Chabahar port, which was which was considered very much strategical for India, right? Because of its nearness to the, you can say, Strait of the Hormuz, and that, you can say, strategic advantage will also washed away, right? Because according to the new strategic partnership, right? So you can say Jasek port, right, has been given to China for development. Has been given to China for, you can say, further development, right? So strategic partnership is there for, you can say, further development, and that is you can say nearer to the Strait of Hormuz than the Chabahar port, right? So if that port is nearer to the, you can say, Strait of you can say Hormuz, so that means what is there, that China has the capacity to, you can say, choke the right entry and exit of ships from Strait of Hormuz, right? From Strait of Hormuz. So that is there, right? So that obviously create trouble for India also. That obviously creates trouble for India, right? And the rest of the world, right? And other countries also, right? And other countries also, right? And that will be a good strategy of China, right? To negotiate on the Strait of Malacca, right? That is a good strategy. That will be a good strategy of China. Good strategy of China to negotiate on the Strait of Hormuz issue. To negotiate on Strait of Hormuz issue, right? Strait of Hormuz issue. So that is also an important thing which cannot be ignored in this context, right? Strait of Hormuz issue, right? And the next thing is which we discussed yesterday, that is why you can say Red Sea route, right? The next thing which we discussed yesterday, that is we can say the Red Sea route, right? That is the Red Sea route which we discussed yesterday, because you can say, because in the Red Sea region also, right? So beta, what you can say saw yesterday, that you can say there is like this the Horn of Africa which is said, right? So beta, yesterday we saw that you can say here is sitting China, right? Port of Sudan, right? And beta here again, right? The Djibouti port, right? The Djibouti is a country where China has its naval base, right? And then beta here is Kenya, where also you can say China has, you can say, access to a port, right? So beta, and beta, you must have seen that, you can say, you must have seen that here you can say Red Sea becomes very narrow, right? Like this, right? So this is the sea, right? So beta, here also you can say China is sitting in an advantageous position. So beta, that is why China is, you can say, in, we can say, all manners, right? You can say advantageous, seeing, you can say, all these things, and China is becoming, you can say, is becoming, you can say, quite stronger to negotiate on the point of state, on the issue of Strait of Malacca, right? So beta, to conclude it, we can see, right? To conclude it, we can say that, is it clear up to this point, beta, to everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So beta, to conclude, we can say, right? To conclude, right? We can say, seeing the various developments by China, it can be said that, right? China is becoming able to, right? China is becoming able to, you can say, reduce its, to come out of, you can say, to come out of Malacca Dilemma, and neutralize India's advantage over China, right? In Strait of Malacca, right? Though it can be seen, though it is true that, it is difficult for China. It is difficult for China to you can say, to drop its dependency, right? to drop its, you can say, dependency over state of Malacca, right? Fully, right? But still, the but still, you can say, but still, India would not be in that much advantage, as it is today, right? India's effect, right, in state of Malacca, right, in state of Malacca, will certainly, you can say, will certainly dilute, right, to larger extent, because China has not only developed alternative routes, China has not only developed alternative routes, but it is, you can say, working on other strategies also, right? Working on other strategies also, like gaining control over other choke points in the region, control over choke points in the region other than the state of Malacca, right? So that is it, right? Other than the state of Malacca, right? And moreover, right? If China opens too many fronts, India is not capable, right? Neither economically and nor in terms of defense strength, right? Defense strength on not capable, right? To fight against China, right? Everywhere, and one more thing, right? One more thing. India's another neighbor, right? India's another neighbor, who is India's chronic enemy, India's chronic enemy, is the best friend of China. Okay, and that will not hesitate to come in open support of China, in case of its war with India, while other friends of India, like US, right, UK, Australia, etc., will prefer to stay neutral or mediate between mediate between India and China. India and China in case of war. In case of war, because their economies, you can say, also depend on China. Also depend on China to a greater extent, and this was visible. This was visible in the recent Galwan Valley, right? In the recent Galwan Valley conflict between India and China, right? Except you can say defense secretary of US, right? All other countries, right, issued the neutral statements. Right? No country came forward, right, to support India openly, right? Even US also didn't, you can say, prefer to indulge in any, you can say, adverse situation, in any adverse situation, right? So that is why इंडिया के लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है कि इंडिया ने क्या करना है, अपने जो फॉरेन पॉलिसी बनानी है उसमें कैसे चलना है, बिकॉज इट इज नॉट द माइंडसेट ऑफ द 20th century, 1919, 1914, 1916 or 1939, 40, 45, right, when the world wars were fought, and at that time the situation was different. And today, in this world of, you can say, openness, liberalization, and the economic dependence of various countries on one another is much higher, right? Even you can say Canada, right? Canada, which was thought to be pro-Indian country because of the large number of Indian diaspora sitting in Canada, and you can say anti-China protests which take place in Canada in the past, and seeing all those things, Canada was supposed to, you can say, issue a statement, right, openly in favor of India, but Canada also did not issue statement openly in favor of India, and that also preferred to take the neutral stand in that case, right? So with us seeing that, we can say that you can say, though India has a, you can say, advantage in the state of Malacca region, but still, you can say China has other strategies also. China has developed other routes also. China has, you can say, China is gaining control over the, you can say, other choke points of the region also, where you can say China, exercising which strategies China can, you can say, twist the arm of India, right? And you can say, which will prevent India from going to the extreme. So that is why this was the question today, right? And I hope you must have understood the whole story, right, Peter?
Yes,
doubt?
Yes, sir.
Any doubt to anybody? Hello?
No, sir.
No,
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 sir.
sir.
No doubt. It's clear.
Okay, beta.
No doubt, sir ji.
Okay. Nishank, what about you?
So it is pretty clear.
Okay, clear.
सर अगर पीओके में को इंडिया कब्जा कर ले पीओके पे वापस से,
हाँ,
तो सर सीपीसी बंद कर सकते हैं हम?
फिर क्या कर सकते हैं?
सर सीपीसी बंद कर सकते हैं हम फिर?
Better the first thing is it is not possible for India to, you can say, right, you can say extend itself to the POK in today's situation, right? Because
अमित शाह तो हमेशा ऐसे छोड़े होकर कहते हैं उसमें।
बेटा वो कहते हैं but China is on the side of Pakistan, no? Because yes, beta, because China has incurred, you can say, billions of dollars of investment in that CPEC project, and China also knows that, you can say, in case the POK comes under the possession of India, then in that case, its, you can say, CPEC project may also be affected, right? And beta, in that case, CPEC and, you can say, Gwadar port has no meaning for China.
Yes, I agree.
Right. So because that is why these are mere, you can say, statements only, right? Just to keep the public happy, right? That you can say our government is doing this, right? So because actually, because China's strategy is something different, right? China prevents from waging a full-fledged war, right? But it keeps on, you can say, but it keeps on continuing, you can say, with the smart moves, like you can say skirmishes, right? You can say smaller battles, right? And with that, you can say China advances into the territory, like right. You must be seeing that, you can say, after this Galwan Valley issue also, right, though the full-fledged war has been prevented, but China has occupied certain territory of India.
Yes, sir, agreed. Sir, वही कह रहे हैं इसीलिए कि 2 कदम चल के 1 कदम पीछे ले लेते हैं वो.
Yes. That is their basically strategy, right? And slowly, beta, they will capture the territory which they demand, right? Because India is not that much powerful. Now you must be seeing that you can see through this Belt and Road Initiative project, right? And that string of pearls policy, and जो आप वो देख रहे हो ऊपर की तरफ है ना, जो आपका जो polar silk road है, through that beta China is capturing the, you can say, entire world, no? Right?
Yeah, I agree.
So beta, that is why, except, you can say, America's continent, right? Otherwise, China has direct routes everywhere now. So beta, that is why it is very difficult for India now to regain the control, right? And moreover, beta, I think that you can say, if your neighbor is too much ambitious, right? And if your neighbor is too powerful to be checked by you, so then it is the wisdom that, you can say, you should resolve your issues through the dialogue as soon as possible.
Yeah, I agree.
Right. And beta, the you can say extent of investment we are doing, right, in terms of the project Mosum, in terms of the diamond of necklace, right, building ports and other things, right, and you can say international north-south transport corridor, Chabahar port, right, beta. So right, Sidhu port in Myanmar also, and then you can say to go the Bangladesh also, we are making investment there, right? So beta, we are trying to, you can say, set up military base, you can say Seychelles, in Seychelles also, Madagascar also, Mauritius also, right? And we are giving the, you can say, ships and boats, donating the ships and boats to, you can say, those continent countries, those, you can say, island countries, right, beta? And we are investing, you can say, in developing Sabang port also, right? So beta, instead of that, right? So why don't we, you can say, prefer to remain cool with China by resolving the various territorial disputes? Yes.
सर एक डायलेमा सर हमेशा सर एक क्वेश्चन रहता है कि सर रशिया चाइना को सपोर्ट क्यों करता है सर, डिस्पाइट द फैक्ट अभी तक सर ऐसा है वर्ल्ड में कि मतलब सुपर पावर माना जाता है यूएसए और रशिया को,
Yes.
मतलब कहीं ना कहीं। तो सर अगर
Yes.
रशिया चाइना को सपोर्ट करेगा तो कहीं ना कहीं वो अपनी डोमिनेंस खो देगा ना सर, फिर कहीं ना कहीं।
नहीं बेटा, basically the reality in today's world is quite you can say different, na? From what you are saying. Today beta, Russia stands nowhere before China, right?
Yeah, sir, I agree.
Yes. So beta, that is why it's very much clear for Russia also that you can say Russia cannot today, you can say, survive in this world without China's support, right?
सर रशिया सर यूएस का सपोर्ट क्यों नहीं करता सर?
Seeing its, you can say, enmity with the US. Beta, Russia and the US, you can say combination is not possible because there are the, we can say, ideological differences between the two countries.
सर वर्ल्ड वॉर 1 और वर्ल्ड वॉर 2 में ये सब दोनों साथ थे हमेशा।
Yes.
Yes.
Beta. Yes.
Sir,
Beta,
sir, Russia is only a military power, na?
yes. So beta, basically the main thing now is that you can say ideological differences are there between the two countries. Yes. Yes. So beta, and China's, you can say, ideology is very much close to that of the Russia, right? Yes.
Sir,
So both are
Mao a follower of Lenin.
Yes. Beta. So both have the similar ideology. So beta, that is why, right? And moreover, beta, it is, you can say, Russia's great wisdom that you can say China is its neighbor, right? And China, you can say, is emerging as a, you can say, superpower in the world. So in that case, to, you can say, support China is Russia's wisdom, right? So beta, if Russia will, you can say, grow enmity with China, so in that case, that will be costlier for Russia also, no?
Yeah, sir.
Right. And in that case, USA will take advantage of that, right? So that is why. So anything else you want to ask me about this?
No, sir. Thanks. Clear.
Okay. So beta, try to write the answers also, please. So, ठीक है,
ਇਹ ਸਰ ਫਿਰ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਰਸ਼ੀਆ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਹੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਆਪਣੇ ਡਿਸਪਿਊਟ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਿਜ਼ੋਲਵ ਕਰ ਲੈਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਰਸ਼ੀਆ ਕਰ।
It is better if we try to resolve our disputes because we have so many internal problems, right? We have you can say the size of our economy is not that much larger, right? And so I don't think, and now we are going to have you can say a US-India Business Council meeting this July, and the main agenda of that Business Council meet is you can say how to end China's monopoly in some specific business sectors. So because that is basically we should try to cooperate instead of right on the you can say two extreme ends becoming north-south poles, right? So that is in the interest of India, because India's neighbor is sitting world's largest exporter hai, world's largest economy hai today, and in that case, right, India could gain too much from China because you can say logistics cost will also be low, right? So cost of imports will also be low from China, right? And yes, there are, you can say, certain issues. Okay, you can say China also tries to exploit the, you can say, developing economies, right? By you can say that dumping or other ways, right? So there are issues, but those can be settled. Those can be, you can say, prevented, but it is in the interest of India to remain cool with China.
सर प्रॉब्लम ये भी है कि सर अगर टेरिटोरियल डिस्प्यूट से रिजॉल्व कर भी लें, मान लो सर उनको हमने लैंड दे भी दिया या कुछ भी हुआ, तो सर उसके बाद चाइना का सर एक्सपेंशनरी नेचर थोड़ी ना बदल जाएगा सर, वो फिर आगे करने लग गए सर। क्योंकि मैंने सर माओ जेडोंग के बारे में पढ़ा है सर, दे हैव मतलब he has a dream कि उनका एक सपना था कि जो चाइना है सर, चाइना इज द palm
Yes.
and there are the five fingers में सर वो कश्मीर पे कब्जा करना चाहते हैं,
Yes.
नेपाल पे कब्जा करना चाहते हैं, भूटान पे, म्यांमार पे।
Yes. Yes. Yes.
तो सर क्या इस बात, और सर अरुणाचल प्रदेश पे, 5th इज अरुणाचल प्रदेश। तो सर इस बात की क्या गारंटी है कि अगर टेरिटोरियल डिस्प्यूट सही कर लें तो उसके बाद फिर चाइना सही हो जाएगा?
No, beta, as of now, China is taking the, you can say, advantage that you can say there is no clear border treaty between the two countries, right? There are, you can say, 3-4 border lines, right? India is accepting some other line, China is accepting some other line, and similarly on the, you can say, eastern side also, right? India is, you can say, sticking on the McMahon line, but China is not accepting that. China is saying that, you can say, we were not a party in that agreement, right? When that agreement was signed between Tibet and India, and so better seeing that, we can say, no, once at least we should be clear, right? Okay, what is your and what is ours, right? We should sit together. Beta, ultimate, what will be the solution, right? If we don't go to, you can say, if we don't go to resolve our territorial dispute with China through the dialogue, then ultimate what will happen, right? Either China capture our territory, right? Like it has, you can say, advanced into the Galvan Valley region now, right? And we are not in position to push them back as of now. You know, it's very clear, right? Right? When it was the case with, you can say, Pakistan Pulwama attack, right? We immediately entered into their, you can say, territory, right? And we conducted the Balakot incident, right? And but in China's case, right, they were into our territory, and we could not do anything because we know that, you can say, we are not in position to counter China. So that is why slowly, China will capture the, you can say, entire territory, and you can say enmity between China and India will also increase in that case. One option is that, right? And better second option is that, right, if we keep the issue burning, so better we will be in a, you can say, a race, right? In the, you can say, Indian Ocean region also, in international politics also, and you can say in terms of the defense also, right? So we will be embraced, and that is not affordable for India, which is having such a huge population, right, which is living below the poverty line. People are dying of, you can say, hunger, and we don't have the employment opportunities, right? And right, and you can say, or you can say, GDP is also GDP growth rate is also slipping down. So because these are the reasons, right? Our economy is already into the, we can say, recession, right? Second thing is that, right? And better third alternative, what will be there? Because there will be ultimately, you can say, you can say, larger conflict. Larger conflict means by the involvement of the other powers, right? Let's suppose the US comes into scene, Japan comes into scene, right? And better allied forces of US comes into scene, and some allied countries of China, you can say, come into scene. Then better what will happen? The war will be fought on the land of India, right? India and China. So the ultimate loss, whose loss will be there? It will be the loss of, you can say, India only, right? And better, moreover, better, China is, you can say, China is, you can say, very much stronger. China is stronger than India, we all know, right? And better, India is not in position to you can say, fight with China even, right? But and better, how can India fight with the two countries at the same time, Pakistan and China, right? We are having two enemies, right, which are just our next door neighbors, one on this end and better other on this end. We are having two enemies, right? And moreover, better, if the if the you can say situation takes a serious turn, and we cannot say that you can say Australia, US, etc., will come in open support of China and India, right? And with they will only take it as an you can say opportunity, right? And they will only you can say try to exploit India in that case, right? Just
Yes, sir. That is the biggest issue actually.
yes, just making India a military base. So better seeing all these with the situations, if we can say analyze it seriously, then it is in the very much interest of India to you can say resolve any dispute with China, right? So better in that case, that will be you can say a better that is a better option for India, we can say, no? Instead of going into war, right? Where you cannot fight with whom, right? Why to think of waging a war with that country? Okay, ultimately we will be loser, right? And if we will be loser, one is the prestige of India will be lost, right? Second is the physical loss of India. Third is the economic loss of India, right? And fourth, great setback to the economy of India, right? Which we will not be able to recover in the future. And with a fifth loss is better if we were beaten by China in the war, and at the same time, if Pakistan also comes into picture, the chances are there that you can see we may lose our Jammu and Kashmir also.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, obviously, I agree with the book.
Yes, so better that is why it is in you can say interest of India to remain cool with China. Right? So, rest I am not the final authority, and I may be wrong also. Right, my opinion may be wrong also. Right, because what is the country's mood that will matter in the democracy now?
Yeah, sir. But sir, I was studying about the history of this particular issue. सर तो कहीं ना कहीं सर हमारे historical मतलब जो moves थे सर उनमें कमी रही है. सर 1954 में जो ट्रेड एक्ट हुआ था सर वो बहुत ज्यादा हमने मतलब अपने यहाँ से रॉ मटेरियल एक्सपोर्ट करना और वहां से फिनिश गुड लेना, तो सर हम कहीं ना कहीं सर यूएस और इंडिया का मतलब बहुत बड़ा रोल रहा है कि चाइना को एज अ ग्रोइंग इकोनॉमी आज जिसपे वर्ल्ड पूरा डिपेंडेंट है वो बनाने में. तो सर अब यही वाली बात है कि पहले हम लोगों ने कुछ ऐसी स्ट्रेटेजिकली गलतियां कर दी हैं जिनको अब हम भुगत रहे हैं.
Beta, do you know one thing? I am just telling to you today. Okay, you will wonder, right? I think you must not have heard about that previously, right? Beta, this you can say Gawadar port, which we are discussing today, right? And which is in Pakistan today, and which
Yes, sir, yes,
part
sir.
of the CPEC, right? Because this Gawadar port was the ownership of the Sultan of, you can say, Oman, right? Oman is very near to that. No? That was in the ownership of Sultan of, you can say, Oman, right? And beta Sultan offered beta that port to India to purchase in 1950, right? But India denied at that time that it would not be possible to, you can say, defend this port from the Pakistani army, because we are yet not in position to, you can say, open one other front with the Pakistan. So that was denied by India, right? That was the property of Sultan of Oman.
Agreed sir, agreed sir. These were some of the circumstances. मतलब सर इसी तरह की कुछ गलतियां हमने बहुत की.
Beta, you can say mistakes. You can
mistakes
say, or
या फिर sir the need of the time.
Yes. Or beta situation was you can say not allowing us. No, otherwise,
Yeah.
what was the problem for India? So many issues, right? So beta, according to the time, you have to take the decision. No? So what is the best? So that is fair. Okay? So ये होता है हमेशा, right? So that is there. So beta, one thing is there. So this topic is over today.